The name of the company is International Workplace Group, and Regus is one of the brands of that company. So that's us. Well, sila Carl.
On our end, as maybe you heard during Mr. Alfonso Jr.'s speech, no? So we're really more of a group of companies on the many sectors, no? Manufacturing, real estate, etc. So this partnership with Regus is our latest project.
So, what transpired you to partner with Regus?
Okay.
What is the
The driving.
Yeah.
the driving force?
The building you're in now, no, Victoria de Makati, primarily previously was mostly restaurants, convenience stores, etc. But there was a desire in our organization also to level it up a little bit more. So that's why we were fortunate enough to meet the acquaintance of Wing from IWG, and we were able to come to an agreement and have a partnership to be able to upsell the area essentially.
So this is local, for local market only?
Well, actually, for IWG, 83% of the top 500 Fortune companies are using our office anywhere else in the world at any point of time. So to answer your question, this is not just for local companies as well as for global companies. So in terms of our client profile, so it ranges from global companies to small, medium-sized enterprises and everything in between. So we basically cater on a very diversified industry.
So, what range yung rent? Like, for example, if I want to rent the place, how much is the rent per month?
Well, we have multiple products for those who are starting up who don't want to have a physical space, but would like to have the center as its address and handling for correspondence. So that it can start at 6,000 pesos per month. But if you want to go scale up your business, get a formal private office, then depends on the requirements of your size.
Thank you.
So after this space in Victoria de Makati, are there plans to expand your partnership?
Maybe. No, we were actually talking about it at several points. No, we have a number of sites in consideration, but nothing final yet.
So you also mentioned that you have 25 offices planned to open up to next year.
Yeah.
So what are can you share the locations? Can you share the locations?
Sure. So currently we have 39 locations, so including this one, and then 25 more who has signed up, and we're launching that toward the end of this year up to the first half of next year. Now, in terms of location, we're trying to expand outside of the usual CBD areas because that's where usually the demands are. We're catering to workers who would want to be able to work very near their home, and so that's where the demand for the provinces come in. Now for the 25 locations, so just to mention a few, we're launching more sites in Cebu, first site in Tagbilaran in Bohol, and then first site in Subic, in Zambales, and then also Carmona, Lipa, Tugigaraw, Ilagan, Santiago, Tarlac, to name a few.
Who are your target market, ma'am?
For the target market, well, pretty much very diversified profile industry. So these are ranging from the small, medium-sized enterprises to large companies such as BPO. For BPO companies, they're the ones who would want to have that hub and spoke model, in which they would want the headquarters to be still at the CBD area. So the likes of Makati and BGC, and then satellite would be anywhere by the fringe of Metro Manila or even as far as the provinces. And then for the small companies naman, so these are professional practitioners or individual practitioners who would usually just be working from home. But as you know, working from home here in the Philippines may not work for all due to challenges of internet connectivity, and there's not much professional environment that you can project if you're talking to a potential client. So you'd still want to be able to work in an office that has that professional environment, but then you don't want to take the long commute. So that's actually how the third dimension of the hybrid working model came about, and we call it the work near home.
Is there a minimum like month to stay or?
You can stay for a few hours, so that's flexible. So the shortest would be a few hours. One day, the longest tenant that we had in the Philippines is for 5 years. So what's good with a flexible workspace environment is we can cater to a very specific demand and needs of the customer. So aside from the physical office, we also have the non-physical office, so we call it the virtual office. The membership, this is very interesting. Any holder of that card can actually access any of our locations nationwide as well as globally.
For those not familiar, ano yung mga entitlement nila to ano na pwede nilang ma-rent?
Mm-hmm.
Like
The meeting room is free, no? They get that 2 hours.
Membership.
Yeah, for the meeting room, for the large room, they actually pay on a per hour basis. And then if they're required to use that on a per day basis, so we have a different rate for that. For tenants, they can actually use the small meeting room for free as an amenity for them. So it's 4 times a month. They will just have to log in their name for the data they will use the meeting room. And then we have, services at the pantry or business cafe. They can consider opting in to that services or opting out of that service. And the most important, I would say, value add would be them having an access to our global network. So we do a lot of events. You notice we have a club area here. So some customers would get an office from us in order for them to have a free access on the networking event. So for those who are just starting up in the business, so that works well for them. They get to exchange business cards, and that's where they get their new business. So it's
Business to
access,
business.
right? So it's really access to networking events, and because IWG is the biggest in terms of flexible workspace, not just in the Philippines but globally, so they get to have access to that huge network.
is delivery allowed? Like can they stock their stuff here?
Say it again, like
Anything delivery like package
Mhm.
in case you're not here, can they
yes.
keep it?
Right. So we handle their mail correspondences, and for virtual office, we have a dedicated line for them. So if one customer uses our virtual office service, if the reception area picks the phone, it will be personalized. So he will say, "Good morning, mom. Thank you for calling XYZ company. I understand you wanted to be connected to this person." Then they will connect that to that person. So at the end of the line, they wouldn't know whether that person is there or not. But because we're using our address for correspondence, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
So for the membership, how much is the package?
It ranges from we have multiple type of memberships. So from 6,000 to 8,000 per month.
How about the daily rate or hourly
daily
rate?
rate or hour.
I will have to check that.
I think that varies per center
That varies
also.
per center. Yeah. I can ask see Eileen to give that to you later.
Yeah.
And then photos of the center as well.
How do we reach you?
Reach me?
Ayan.
Yeah, okay.
Ano, I mean for if we
Inquiries.
want to
for
inquire.
inquiries, okay, sorry. You wanna take that?
Sure. Well, of course, physically, our property is here in Victoria de Makati, very close to Buendia and the intersection with South Superhighway. So you can always walk in. Other than that, we have phone lines, email addresses have been set up also, and of course IWG's website.
So our website, we generate 2,000 inquiries per month, at least for the Philippine market, and then over 1 million inquiries per month for the global market. And on top of that, they see us on events, so they can approach us.
And last, requirements. What do you need para makapag-avail or makapag-rent? What do you require?
So we basically just require the minimum KYC as required by the government. Other than that, they can just plug and play immediately.
So you accept walk-in?
Yes, we do.
How much per day for the walk-in?
Yeah, that we'll have to check
Yeah.
the rate.
Depends talaga, sir,
We'll have to
depending on
check
the
rate.
site. Yeah.
I can give that information later.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.